It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the third day of April 2023. I'm coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia, Central Virginia area. This morning, of course, our main story is a special guest who's been on the show a bunch of times before. After we talked with Kevin, however, I do have a couple news stories to go over with you today. Emirates launches a new cruise line for 2024. Global Ports Holdings enjoys tremendous growth. UnCruise Adventures returns to profitability. Summer skiing, what? And a lot more on tornadoes. That and plenty more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you're, by the way, today, folks, is National Chocolate Mousse Day. Some of you may not know what chocolate mousse is. It has nothing to do with the animals. It's kind of a fluffy chocolate pudding. I like it. Kevin could probably find chocolate mousse today. He doesn't eat much of that stuff, though. But anyway, we'll talk about that maybe. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventures.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. To search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. So getting on with the business of the day, this is, sixth time, seventh time that Kevin's been on the show. So he's obviously one of my favorite guests. So without any further ado, here's Kevin Martin from 30 and a Wake Up. Kevin, welcome back to Chillie Chats.
Hey, Chillie, it's good to be back. Sorry you're not on the ship, but this is almost as good. That's why I did this outside, so you can get a little feel of what the cruise would have been like.
Yeah, Kevin and I we're supposed to have been on a Caribbean Princess this week. He happens to be in Cozumel today.
Yep.
And it was my plan. Kevin likes to stay on the ship quite often when he's in port. And I was going to make him get off the boat with me. And we were going to go down that pier there that he's sitting right next to. And we were going to meet Elizabeth on location for lunch. So we'll have to put that off till another time. But I'm sorry I'm not with you, Kevin, but I tried to go out this weekend, and it's a good thing I'm not on that cruise because I don't have strength back yet.
Yeah, so. Your health is most important. So I'm glad we could connect this way. And I mean, I'm sure we'll be on a cruise that pulls into Cozumel again for sure.
Oh yeah, has to happen. Yeah. All right, now I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
One, before we get started on the real source of my questions for today. You have to tell me about Caribbean Princess.
So I'm really liking Caribbean Princess. For those that watch my channel or watch any of the interviews that I've done with you, Princess at the moment is probably my favorite cruise line. I don't think it's number one at anything, but it's really, really good at everything, and it's very consistent across ships. I've been on Ruby Princess and Sky Princess and one more, but I can't remember which one it was. And Caribbean Princess has the princess feel to it. It's the oldest princess ship I've been on. It's, I think, a little bit over 20 years, but it doesn't feel like an old ship. It feels like any other ship I've been on. It actually feels a little bit newer than Ruby Princess, to be honest with you. And it's got all the things I love about Princess: the great customer service. Ships are super clean. They have butter pecan lattes that I can order in the morning on the Medallion app. So far, the Medallion app has worked great for me on here. The internet's been decent. So yeah, I'm really enjoying Caribbean Princess so far. Here, I'll give you.
By the way, Kevin is a huge fan of Starbucks. So to honor that this morning, I have my big ass Starbucks cup, which is not one of those latte frappy things. It's water, but it's to honor Kevin was my Starbucks cup. So
Yeah, I was on Enchantment of the Seas last cruise, and Royal Caribbean has a partnership with uh, Starbucks. So I had a white chocolate
Starbucks.
mocha, yeah, every morning.
Yeah.
So I am missing that, but Princess is getting ready to partner with it's called like La Casa or something like that coffee.
Yeah.
So they're pretty soon they're gonna have a really good coffee on here. So I'm excited about that on Princess.
All right, I have to go back to Enchantment since I was on Enchantment a month ago.
Yeah.
Of course, I ended up with a little bout of COVID after I got off Enchantment. I have no idea if it was from Enchantment, it was from the kid puking on me in the plane, or the next cruise that I was on. But somewhere along the way, I got the virus. While you were on it, the month you were on Enchantment, they also had an outbreak of Norovirus. How did that work out?
Yeah, so it was interesting seeing people like you, like Lolita Loca, all the cruise news channels report on that and actually being on board. I was on the 2 cruises that were impacted by Norovirus, the 12 and the 8 day. I think it started on yours though, maybe a little bit, but they had precautions on both of on the 12 day and the 8 day I was on. The second cruise and the third cruise I was on, they had precautions the whole time, serving you at the buffet. You couldn't go get your own drinks, things like that. And the statistics were about 5% of passengers had it, and about 1% of the crew. I didn't even notice it. I never got it, thankfully. But I was on Navy ships for a long time, and I probably got norovirus a million times in my life. We call it double dragon because usually you're throwing up out of one end and doing something else out of the other end.
Yeah.
And so I think I have like pretty good antibodies built up for it, but who knows? Maybe I'll get it at some point. But I didn't even notice it other than the safety precautions that were on board. But the way that, it was all over cruise news, you would have thought that half the ship had it. But it's all, it's always kind of over exaggerated when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. All right. You did, I've been known to follow your videos and things that you post on your channel. And you recently did a video on the what was it? The 9 things you like best about Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about Royal Caribbean that was before you started cruising, I was already a diamond on Royal Caribbean. So many of the things that you said were right up my alley.
Yeah.
And I feel I know Royal Caribbean pretty well since I've been on, 12, I think, of their ships. Where the hell did you find this loop on the towels?
So one of my biggest complaints about cruise ships is the towel rings that you hang your towels on are not big enough for a moving ship. I don't know who designs them, but they obviously don't test them out on towels. And of course, I was having the same struggle on Royal Caribbean, and I noticed that there's this little piece of thread off there, and I was like, oh, cool, this one has a ring on it. And then the next group of towels I got, they had the ring on it, and I was like, I know it sounds superficial and silly, but all those little things add up. I had a bunch of those little things about Royal Caribbean that I was like, somebody thought about this and tried it out. There's so many things on cruise ships that you run into and you're like, nobody tried this out. Like the closets on MSC, I'm like, nobody tried these closets out on MSC because I'm in here as one person and they're not big enough. Like for 2 people, there's no way this would be big enough. Like nobody tried these closets out. And it's the same thing with those towel hooks. But Royal Caribbean seems like maybe they test stuff and figure out what works the best. Because there was all these little bitty things that Royal Caribbean had, like the towel rings, that I really loved about it. It makes your cruise a little bit incrementally better.
And the amazing thing, Kevin, as many Royal Caribbean ships as I've been on, I've never noticed that. And I've always complained about the damn towels are constantly falling on the floor. And you come back in the room if you're trying to dry them out so you can use them again, and they're soaking. I can't believe you discovered that, and I've been cruising forever.
Well, maybe it's just on Enchantment of the Seas, but based on the comments I got, a lot of people were like, yeah, I love the loops on the towels on Royal Caribbean. So I'm assuming it's on other ships too.
I have had other people to make the same comment, and so now I've got to go back and pay better attention to my towels. Let's see, I'm on a Royal ship, my second cruise next month. My first cruise is on a Norwegian Joy. That's one of my solo hosted cruises. And then I'm on Liberty of the Seas out of Bayonne. So one of the first things I'm going to do is look at the towels and see.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be I'm interested to see if it's consistent across Royal Caribbean.
Yeah. All right, so you're on Caribbean Princess for a month or close to a month this time?
Yeah, 28 days, 4 7-day cruises. I think one of the things I love about about Princess is when you book, you can book 2 7-day cruises as a 14-day cruise, and it's cheaper, even though it technically is 2 separate cruises. And when you're a solo, they still give you credit for 2 cruises, so you get 4 cruise credits, which just one cruise will get you almost to elite or to platinum on Princess, which is their second level from the top. So it's really interesting for solo cruisers, and I love that they do that. But yeah, 28 days. 28 days on board.
And then you're getting ready to desert the Caribbean.
Yeah, so I'll actually be on a Norwegian ship the same time you're on Joy. The only reason I didn't do the Joy with you guys, because I really wanted to, was because they didn't have solo cabins, and I wanted to try a solo cabin. Yeah. So I'm actually on Getaway the same time you're on Joy. I don't know, maybe we'll hit the same ports or something. I know sometimes cruise lines do that. So maybe we'll be in the same port, but I'll be on Getaway the exact same time you're on Joy. And then after that, I'm on MSC Seaside for 14 days. And then I hop on Island Princess and head over to Europe, and I'll be in Europe for about 3 months.
Yeah.
And then to Asia.
So Kevin is going to be cruising the world, and I'm still going to be fooling around in the Caribbean and Alaska. So
I'll be up in. So when are you going to be up in Alaska? Because
Labor Day weekend.
What ship are you on?
I'm on Emerald Princess.
I'm there at the same time as you, but I'm on Grand Princess.
Okay. Well, Grand Princess and Emerald Princess, they kind of run similar itineraries. So we're allowed to bump into each other in Alaska. That could be too.
Yeah, we might bump into each other somewhere.
So, all right, Kevin. Well, I need to get on with the news portion of the program today. Again, my friend, I'm sorry we're not meeting Elizabeth for lunch. That would have been such terrific fun.
Next time.
So, oh, yeah. We'll definitely do it, and we'll definitely be getting together real soon. All right, Kevin, have a fantastic cruise, and we'll be talking to you probably in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Chillie.
All right, Kevin. Thank you.
Take care.
And that, of course, is Kevin Martin of 30 in a Makeup, 30 in a Wake Up. But come on, tongue, work. And Kevin has been just such a tremendous supporter for this channel, and I've loved everything he's done since he started cruising full time. So, terrific interview. I like that. All right, now I'll be back with today's news after a quick word from my friends over at Scoot Around.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scoot Around. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot Around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
And of course, this time next month, I'll have me a scooter and running around a cruise ship again. I'll be ready to go for my group cruise on Norwegian Joy. So I am so excited to be with my friend Mr. Bucket List again. He and I will be jointly hosting that one. The other bit of news this morning, the other announcement this morning before we get to the news, is on Wednesday of this week. My good friend Chrissy Durso is going to be back on the show. I've wanted to check out her recent trip to Portugal for the handicapped community. And she had some other interesting things when I talked to her this morning. I had a meeting with Christy on a whole different matter this morning. We were on the phone. I told her we'd be on the phone for 10 minutes. We were on the phone for an hour. Well, that's normal when Christy and I get together. But she'll be on the show Wednesday morning. And we're going to talk, among other things, about Portugal. We might also talk about this past week for her and a speaking engagement she made, but we'll see. All right, guys, I'll be back with today's news right after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. Some of you may have noticed that my eyesight is a little different than on normal things. I'm trying out a different camera setup on the show. We'll see how that works and how it looks in the replay. But our top story today has to do with Emirates. The Dubai-based airline Emirates is expanding its horizons with the launch of a new cruise line division, Emirates Sea Line, offering ultra-luxury cruise experiences to customers across the globe. The first voyage will depart from Dubai Harbor in April of 2024, with Karachi as the maiden port of call. Emirates Airlines aims to redefine luxury cruises with top-tier experience and inclusive itineraries to rarely before-seen ports of call with its new cruise line, Emirates Sea Line. The company has placed a multi-billion-dollar order for an initial fleet of 10 cruise ships, currently being outfitted with the latest and most luxurious amenities. Breaking away from convention, Emirates Sea Line will offer a cruise calendar outside traditional seasons, initially sailing to ports in Pakistan. Captain Jack Shallow, the newly appointed Chief Maritime Officer at the helm of Emirates Sea Lines, emphasized the company's commitment to innovation and luxury. Emirates Sea Line is not only focused on luxury, but also on sustainability and efficiency. The company plans to develop a future generation cruise ship that can sail at more than 50 knots per hour. That's double the speed of today's fastest ships. Emirates Sea Line will leverage cutting-edge technology, artificial intelligence, and innovation to achieve this. With the company's focus on offering air, land, sea journeys, some may argue that there could be potential for a shift in priorities depending on the cruise line's success. It remains to be seen how the launch of Emirates Sea Line will affect Emirates Airlines' long-term strategy and the aviation industry as a whole. Passengers traveling to Dubai on Emirates flights will enjoy a seamless air, land, sea journey. Upon arrival, custom-built electric chauffeur-driven cars will transform them from Dubai International Airport to Dubai Harbor, where they will be escorted to their luxury cabins on board the new ships. We're going to see that in 2024. So Emirates will join Virgin Voyages as another airline-based cruise trial Virgin Voyages, of course, was founded by Sir Richard Branson. So we'll see how Emirates does in the future. I have a feeling Hot Air Tom is probably going to be right on top of this one. So anyway, we'll see about Hot Air Tom and Emirates in the near future. All right, the second story today has to deal with, Global Ports Holding. They're the world's largest cruise port operator. They've experienced remarkable growth in the Americas and Europe over the last 2 years, and it has taken over management of several cruise ports worldwide post-pandemic. Among the ports managed by Global Ports Holding are Alicante Cruise Port, Prince Rupert Cruise Port, that's up north of Vancouver, St. Lucia, San Juan, the Canary Islands, and Taranto Cruise Port. But it's the ports in the Americas where the operator is having its biggest success, and that includes Nassau and Antigua. Nassau set a new record in February by welcoming 28,554 passengers aboard 6 cruise ships in a single day. Antigua is projecting record-breaking year in 2023. So big time year ahead for Global Ports Holding. We've had several stories on Prince Rupert's development as another port in the Alaska cruise chain. Haven't talked about UnCruise or UnCruise, however you pronounce that. In a year of recovery for the industry, UnCruise Adventures shared its return to profitability. Most cruise companies are still dealing with massive losses and crushing debt from the pandemic. However, UnCruise Adventures' savvy business decisions, loyal guests, and adaptive staff, along with the quick ability to pivot during COVID crisis, have propelled the company into profitable return to business, giving customers solid confidence in UnCruise's reliable future. Excuse me. Captain Dan Blanchard, owner and CEO, said UnCruise's approach to adventure cruising and business management was different from the big multinational companies. The commitment of UnCruise Adventures to its passengers has been unwavering, and the line's recovery stands an example of what small businesses can do. We've always focused on small group and sustainable travel, and that has paid off. The best investment we can make is in ourselves and in our environment. Our guests appreciate that and are coming back year after year. The company also successfully bounced back from the crisis due to which is a testament to the UnCruise Adventures staff. Many of them worked on the cuff for a while. So they definitely helped the company out in saving money when the company had no money to spend. And that was a big part of it. People are talking about springtime skiing and possibly summer skiing this year. With April here, you may assume it's time to hang up the skis and the poles and the boots for the winter. With record snowfall this year, however, Many of the mountains are extending their season, and skiing will continue into the summer months. With so much snow and more on the way, the Sierras, Wasatch, and Northern Rockies can host you for skiing well into June and maybe July. For example, Brighton received more than 740 inches. Mammoth has clocked off 800 inches, meaning the big resorts in the western U.S. are poised to offer excellent skiing for months to come. And believe it or not, many mountains will even allow you to ski for free for the rest of the season when purchasing next year's season pass. Before you say goodbye to winter, start looking into a ski trip with some amazing snow and deals. And finally this morning, folks, in a tough weekend in this country, tornado ravaged towns in the America's South and the Midwest are already facing a long road to recovery after a multi-state storm outbreak leveled homes and left at least 32 people dead. And another round of damaging storms is on the way again. Today's going to be a reasonably calm day, but we got severe weather coming right behind that for the next couple of days. So all you people out in the same areas need to be on guard once again, as this has just been an awful period for tornadoes. And it's having a trickle-down effect on the cruise industry. The severe weather through the Midwest and parts of the South are affecting the airlines and getting people actually to the cruise ports to get on their cruises. So there's been a big upflow of people that didn't get to cruise ships on time this past weekend. So, all right, that's going to wrap up the news portion of today. Let's go over in the chat room and see how things are going and who's with us. Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. It's the Cruise Life is with us again today. Good to have you back. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hot Air Tom. See there, Hot Air Tom, we got a new cruise line for you to get on. You like those folks? Maybe you can find a camel jockey job when you sail on Emirates Sea, whatever. We're on Anthem of the Seas next month, so we will also check out the towel situation. I can't wait now to go back. I can't believe as much as I've fussed about that on every cruise ship. Oh my goodness. That's one of the things that, I'm like Kevin, I'm solo all the time. So I don't have anybody to fuss at but me when I make a mess in the bathroom with wet towels. My room steward, they take good care of me, but still hanging a towel up. I can't wait till I'm on my next Royal Caribbean to see if Kevin's out of his mind. I love Royal Caribbean. So, and I'm sure Kevin knows. But it was really funny because I just went up almost item for item that Kevin checked off on that video of the 9 things he likes the most about Royal Caribbean. I was going, yep, I'm right with you there, Kevin. I mean, obviously the loyalty package, I'm at the point where I think it's 5 drinks a day now, 5 or 6. I don't know. It's more than I can drink. Of course, Kevin gets his specialty coffees, which the loyalty covers him with that. So, but yeah, I like it with my cocktails. I don't have to worry about a drinks package. A drinks package, like, warning, I bought the drinks package. Look out, folks. But yeah, that doesn't happen on Royal Caribbean ships. Hot Air Tom says, I have never seen a ring for a towel on a cruise ship. No idea what they are talking about here. Well, it's a little tabby thing that, I mean, he showed it on the thing. It hooks right over the hangy up things, the knobs, and it'll keep a towel hanging instead of flopping to the floor and being a wet, soggy mess. I mean, obviously we got to hang it up to get it to do that, but still. I got to go look and see if the Royal Caribbean towels are different than the Norwegian towels. And who else about Carnival towels and Holland America towels. I've got to go investigate the towel situation. That's my new thing. Andrea Gold's with us. Good morning, Andrea. Good to have you here. Yo, Brooklyn in the house. Hey, Eddie. Eddie's up there in Brooklyn. And good morning to everybody. Emily's with us. Yo, Eddie. How's it going? Oh, there's Kevin now. He's in the chat room now. Kevin, we're talking about those towels again, my friend. So Kevin's jumping in and speaking to everybody now. The Atlantis hotels in the Dubai picture looks familiar. That Atlantis hotel in the Dubai picture looks very familiar. Yeah, well, you've been there many times. The Emirates really doing this, or was it an April Fool? No, this is actually, they've placed the order. I've seen some drawings of the ships. They're going to be they're a sleek looking ship. Now, again, we're talking about a luxury cruise line. We're talking about more of equality to the, I call them boutique cruises, the small, expensive, I find them expensive cruises, not like Royal and Norwegian and Carnival and the ships that I sail on. But, some of the little expedition cruises. So you're going to be more in that line. Well, keep in mind when they've got the Emirates air, so if they got a boat that can go twice the speed. So let's say, just on a rough picture, folks. If a transatlantic on a normal ship that normally sails around 20 knots, 21 knots, sometimes 22 knots. Okay, let's say a transatlantic on that it takes 14 days to go from New York to Civitavecchia or Southampton. All right. If you're doubling that speed, so you'd be doing a transatlantic in 7 days. So you fly to do a transatlantic back, or you sail over and get to Dubai and fly Emirates Air back to New York or Newark, or might end up going to other airports, Miami, Atlanta, Chicago. I mean, any of the main airports in the U.S., Emirates Air already flies in and out of, but they could be putting some packages together, on transatlantics that would be dynamite and cover air, and it'd be luxury all the way. I could see some possibility with this one. So, let's see. I was thinking that too. Amy's says the Emirates story was an April Fool's joke. No, it wasn't, because I've actually seen the pictures That is a news story, folks. I promise you. So I tell you what, tomorrow I'll get a picture of one of the ship designs, and you'll see what they're looking at. So totally different. Let's see. The cruise with Chillie in March, April of 2025 could be the last, with all the price increases and service reductions. Well, let's wait and see until we see what they're going to do, because I'm not entirely sure we've seen the end of changes. There may be more. There may be some movement back. We're seeing at least one cruise line going back to the way things were on some things. Let's just let things play out. If you're cruising, folks, keep cruising. I'm planning on doing that as much as I can afford to do that now. But yeah, quite frankly, I'm going to work all the deals I can work, folks, so I can be at sea as much as possible. And yeah, these hosted cruises, if that gets me out there that much more, I'll be happy to host cruises. So no doubt about that. NCL has hooks, not rings. I never noticed the hooks either. Are you talking? You're talking about hooks on? Oh no, you're talking about towel, not towel rings in the bathrooms. Yeah, no, they're most cruise lines have knobs, or they don't have actual towel rings. The towel has the ring. It's a little piece of cloth that you can hang over the knob, and it holds the towel, keeps it from falling down on the floor. Where you on the knobs on the back of the door or on the wall in the bathroom, you hang up the towel. If the ship's moving, the towel falls off. And if you've never noticed that, folks, you need to think about it next time you're on a cruise on the condition of your towel. Just leave the towels on the floor and for your room steward to pick it up. But yeah, no, there's several. Chillie, you have a reputation for reliability, but a 40-knot cruise ship is a step too far. Well, I'm not saying I'd want to be on that, but you're looking at a small, sleek vessel. You're not looking at a big, massive cruise ship. I mean, you're looking something that would have 600-800 passengers tops or less. Maybe 100, 200 passengers. I don't know. They're like the boutique, the expedition cruise ships. Can they reach that kind of speed? I don't know. I'm not the engineer. I'm just going from the news was from a very reliable source that I've checked out numerous times and never had a bad story. So, is there a towel shortage? No, it's part of the service cutback. You're only getting, instead of twice a day, most of the cruise lines have cut back the room stewards to once a day, and usually there's 2 of them now per room, and they got to do like 3 times the room, so they end up having to work more than they were working before when they had. It's not it's not been a good thing for any of the cruise lines, I don't think. And I don't put a lot of pressure on my room steward. I try to keep things reasonably neat and together when I'm on a cruise, because I know that, you know, just because of all the stuff I've got in a room with charging things and charging my scooters and keeping my computer going, and then I've got a whole shelf of meds. Or holy hell, my room looks like a damn hospital to start with. So, you know, I try to keep it as neat, you know, other than, the bed, which that's hard for me to do, to straighten up and make a bed, between having to stand to do it and not having the room for getting the scooter around on both sides of the bed. That quite often I can't do that, even in a handicap accessible room. So I try to keep the room as neat as I can. But the towels are one of the things that's always bugged me. And Kevin said that, and I went, hell yes. So if I could hang up a towel and know it would dry, that I could possibly use it a second time. Oh, what about when you're on a cruise ship, sometimes you want to take I'm an early morning shower guy. Which, if I'm out and getting the pool or the hot tub or something during the day, or I've been out on, in port when it's hot and sweaty, and then I've got a nice dinner to go to, I can take a second shower. I'm not allergic to the water, but I like the fact of, that maybe that towel that I've used in the morning, I could use again. I'm having no problem at all with sustainability on that. And no, it's not a shortage of towels. It's the possibility of using more, because you got a shortage of people cleaning your room from what we're used to. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, my thanks to Kevin. A 30 and a wake up. If you've never gone to Kevin's channel and checked it out, please do so. His content is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I go back for years when he was traveling in the RV, and some of that content, I can sit back and watch a couple of his videos, old ones, every night, and I love them just as much as I do his Royal Caribbean that he posted last week. So, yeah, good stuff, folks. Well worth checking out. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same channel, for more of this foolishness. On Tuesday, travel and cruise industry news. And don't forget, Wednesday, there will be Chillie Chats with Christy Durso about Portugal and other things having to do with the disability community. And of course, I always look forward to Christy. She's so much fun. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fantastic day, everybody. See you tomorrow morning at 11.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie Chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.